Big red disclaimer. The following video is purely based on my opinion and does not reflect the views of any parties discussed. Now let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the first episode of All Your Video. I am R. Jones, and I will be your disembodied voice for this video. Today I'd like to talk to you about sports. However, I don't mean sports in the traditional sense where you move balls of various shapes and sizes. I'm talking about sports that utilize one of these, or maybe even one of these. What I want to talk about today is a little something called electronic sports, or esports for short. Allow me to ask you something. What is the first thing that pops into your head when you hear the term gamer? Maybe you think of some kid holed up in an arcade progressing through a game with a scary amount of precision. Or perhaps you might get an image of some pubescent 14-year-old screaming at his computer while insisting that you simply don't win an MMORPG. If you thought of either, you're not necessarily wrong. These stereotypes do exist despite them not representing the majority. These two archetypes do share a common quality, however: competitive spirit. Through the help of the internet, gamers with like minds have been able to connect and compete in virtual arenas worldwide. Now known as esports, this competitive environment now seeks to break out of the basements of millions and into the living rooms of the common population. To give you an idea of how far esports has come, I'm going to first show you a video excerpt. I'd like you to make some sense of it without my explanation. Enjoy.
Two teams, $1 million, and the chance to take home the Summoners Cup. Millions of people watched online. 10,000 adoring fans were in attendance, all to see who would be crowned Season 2 World Champion. Korea's Azubu Frost came into the World Championship Finals as the heavy favorites, having made short work of their competition in each stage of the tournament. The Taipei Assassins were resilient throughout the entire playoffs, playing the role of the underdog in every match they played. They fought their way past the world's best for the chance to represent Taiwan in the finals. Let's see how it all unfolded at the Galen Center in Los Angeles.
If you took anything from that excerpt, I'd like you to notice three important things: the large arena, clearly defined teams, and of course the large trophy to the victor. I say this so that I can draw a parallel. In pretty much every spectator sport, we notice these same qualities. Almost every basketball or football team has an arena where they compete. Each team represents their own region and has distinct personalities. And of course, there's a trophy. Stanley Cup, anyone? These esports share many of the same qualities as their physical counterparts. Why then do we not see these sports on TV or on the radio? If anyone dares to remember the ridiculousness that was XFL, you might also remember that it too was on TV. A lot more than we'd like to admit. So why not esports? I believe that the main issue stems with the inherent learning curve that comes with observing these games in action. For example, look at this video. It's a clip of high-level play from a game series called StarCraft. I can understand what's going on in this video, and many of my friends can. But I know many more people who wouldn't have a clue as to what's happening. And this isn't just a StarCraft issue, but an issue with competitive games in general. Even if one gets over the initial hump of learning the basics of gameplay, there are still hundreds of tiny nuances that people wouldn't notice at high levels of play. This can be said of physical sports too. However, we're constantly fed information about these sports, so at the very least we can follow them. Heck, even XFL is similar to football. Is it impossible for people to learn enough about these games to turn into a spectator sport? Of course not. If we look at South Korea, there are several TV stations dedicated solely to competitive gaming. Even stateside, the barcraft scene, the activity of going to a bar to watch StarCraft matches, has gained some popularity. To keep things brief, I'd like to say that the past couple of years have been some of the best that esports have seen. Game companies are now earning enough money to provide their top players with steady salaries, and the prize pools for some of these tournaments are rising into the millions. Yes, millions. While I will concede that it may take a few more years for esports to get to a point where it isn't just for an isolated audience, I do believe that it can find a place in living rooms around the world. Personally, I'd love to be able to kick back with my friends and watch competitive Dota or StarCraft on, say, Fox or NBC. For now though, I'll settle with huddling around a computer screen. I'm R. Jones, and I'd like to thank you for watching.